Hey everyone, it's Ignignot. How's it going? So I appreciate all the love and support from the last video where I was being totally serious about Nintendo and providing people all the websites that they should not be going to in order to find ways to emulate Switch. I really do appreciate it. It went pretty big on views and everything. Got 5 new subs, and I hope you guys all stay a while. Seeming as I still don't have any setup to really play any of my classic games, so in case you guys are new, I primarily focus on older games, especially arcade games like Neo Geo, CPS2, etc. I don't get into most modern games these days simply because everything's kind of gone, well, woke, for lack of better words. When you start seeing like nonsensical stories that don't make any sense and are clearly trying to push some sort of anti-male, anti-establishment, anti-certain races, sort of propaganda, that just turns you off, especially when it's a game that shouldn't have like any of that in it. Just like a racing game or an action platformer or something like that. Anyway, so I wasn't going to talk about this, but it thankfully kind of blew up. If you've been following this stuff when it comes to film, this has been going on for years. I was first made aware of this, unfortunately, when Star Wars kind of went south with Disney, and they started injecting all sorts of propaganda into their stuff in lieu of an actual good story. And, now look at Disney, they can't even release a single film that actually makes any money these days. Well, now it's been happening with the gaming industry, but now it's finally becoming more prevalent, and normal people are starting to take notice, which is great. There's a company that's been coming into the limelight as of late that's called Sweet Baby Inc. This is their website. It shows you all the crap that they work on, and by work on I mean totally not work on. So they're a consulting team that essentially goes ahead and just provides input to the development team and the writers and the marketing of whatever game project that is, and tells them what is appropriate culturally. And most of these developers don't actually want these consulting teams to be here. It's just publishers doing it out of fear. Basically what they've, and there's video evidence out there, you can go find it. I'll show some stuff later on, but long story short, the CEO and owner of the company, along with other employees, have come out very publicly and stated that they hate anyone who's basically straight or white. They hate men. They don't like that gaming is primarily focused on men, which, I hate saying it, but, that's your fucking customer base. Most people who play games are men. It's not racist. It's not sexist. It's just how you market shit to people. Just as, like, you don't market women's razors to men, because I highly doubt there's a market. Anyway, so what they do is that, and there's videos out there where they're preaching to people how to do this so that they can do it themselves. They basically guilt companies into doing this and use bullying tactics to pressure them into being hired. And what I mean by bullying tactics, it's basically like what the old gangsters used to do back in the early 20th century, where you just say, oh, well, it would be really unfortunate if there was a hate mob that came and, protested your game in about a month. Because you didn't, we weren't more inclusive and you didn't hire us. That sort of thing. It's extortion. Anyway, so this is the company website, and here's some examples of games they worked on. If you've wondered why games like Suicide Squad are so weird and that every single male superhero is treated like shit, if they die, like the Flash did in that game, they're literally peed on. You did not mishear me, by the way. Yeah. But then the few female characters that are in it, if they die, they have like a heroic death. It's because of stuff like this. It's all being pushed by these people. And there's been all sorts of other games that you may have seen this. I know I saw it here in Spider-Man 2. I know Sable is huge on this shit. I never played Alan Wake 2, so that's interesting. God of War Ragnarok, I already knew that type of stuff was going on. But anyway, they make all sorts of stuff. Well, they don't make... I keep saying that. They don't make shit. But they consult for people who make shit. Anyway, so long story short, like, ain't nobody going on these websites. The only people who know about these sort of companies are development teams or people who are introduced to them by these peer pressure tactics, right? So long story short, there's a guy who did a curator on Steam, and it's called Sweet Baby Inc. Detected. Literally all he's doing is creating a list of games that he clearly does not recommend, that the team had been working with, not on, with. Because again, these people don't ever create anything. They just take over things like a parasite and destroy it from the inside out, and then move on to the next host. Like I said, it's been happening with movies, and now it's happening with video games. Anyway, this is literally all he did. There's tons of people who do similar things. So they tried, the CEO and some of its employees tried going to Steam and getting this guy banned, which is hysterical because the way that they tried banning him was literally by saying that he was trying to like peer pressure people into being coerced into, like, you know, hurting these people, which he's not. He's just showing what games are tied to them. That's simple. I mean, literally all he's doing is liking shit that's on their own website. I mean, it's as simple as that. He's not doing anything crazy. He's just alerting people to their presence. And they actually, in turn, got temporarily banned, which was hysterical because they were also going after him on Twitter and trying to get people to gang up together and go attack this guy. And they got temp banned on both platforms because they were guilty of what they were accusing the other people of being guilty for. Kind of funny how that works, huh? It's okay to, you know, use these tactics when it's for yourself, but if you perceive other people doing it, oh, it's terrible. It's very one-sided. Anyway, so long story short, this guy only started with like a few hundred subs not that long ago, followers not that long ago, and he's now approaching nearly 200,000 followers, which is fantastic. Normal people are literally being awakened by this. I'm sure you guys have heard of the Ackman. This guy's a pretty big YouTuber. He talks primarily about Halo and other first-person shooters like Call of Duty, at least when he's ripping them a new one. I've always not really liked the guy a whole lot. I've watched a bunch of his videos, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he makes terrible content, but whenever he's off script is when he kind of starts not making sense. And he's gone after people in the past for speaking up on stuff like this, calling them crazy, saying it doesn't exist, da-da-da-da-da. And now all of a sudden he's acting like he's been in a know this entire time, and it's kind of funny watching him kind of see the world, as you can see in this meme of Captain America. It's like, oh yeah, this shit's been... Is that Captain America? I don't know. The fact that I don't know is makes me happy. Anyway, some other shit that people pointed out is that none of this is being reported by the legacy media. And by legacy, I mean old as fuck and irrelevant, just like a dinosaur. Kotaku, Polygon, IGN, GameSpot, and Rock Paper Shotgun. No one's bringing this up, not even a little bit, and yet it's still blowing up. You can't really go anywhere without people talking about it, which is great. Again, the only reason why I'm doing this, by the way, I'm not really expecting to make a huge dent, I guess you would say, in trying to help with this message, but any awareness to this sort of shit needs to be spread, and that's all I'm literally doing this for. I just want people to know what's going on. Anywho, so if you think this is the only company, by the way, it's doing stuff, because, I mean, if you look at their game list, it's pretty short. Yeah, that's not. So there are tons, and this is just a small sampling. In fact, here's even more. There's tons of companies that do the exact same thing. Exact same thing. Either they're doing it or they've worked with these people. Let's just put it that way. It's a mismatch of that sort of thing. Because all these people are a part of the Fair Play Alliance. And the Fair Play Alliance is basically a bunch of woke people who put activism before actual making good games. And if you ever wondered why the shit like prior to Xbox One, that sort of era, were better than the stuff now, if you ever wonder why, at least for me, the desire to play older games is higher than the stuff that you want to play now, it's higher, is because the games were just made more. It's because made better because the people making the games actually cared, were actually gamers, and were inspired by better games before them to make something better and better and better. Now it's not about that. Now it's about check marks and quotas. And this is the state that we're in. You know, like I said, it really started with movies, and now it's going into gaming. So I implore you to follow him, even if you don't use curators on Steam, just to send a message that, you know, we're kind of tired of this shit. At the end of the day, and I really don't care what the hell you do in the privacy of your own home. I especially don't care what you do in your bed or who you do anything in your bed with. I don't care what skin color you were born with, because it's not like we had a choice in the matter. And I don't care what gender you are of the two. Just don't give a shit, because it doesn't matter. I care about what you are as a person, the weight of your soul, I should say. Are you good? Are you genuine? Are you real? Or are you just a fake, narcissistic fuck? Like Sweet Baby. By the way, little side note, just before I forget, if you wonder why they named their fucking company Sweet Baby Incorporated, is because they literally, the CEO fucking literally described gamers, actual true gamers, not who they wish were gamers, but actual gamers, as a bunch of babies who expect to be fed the stuff that they like to be fed. Imagine that. You know, if I like fucking racing games, I don't want to have some sort of woke story fucking duct tape to it like a fucking bad Need for Speed game. I just want to race. I can't believe I'm crazy. But anyway, they refer to the customers as babies, and they throw a tantrum when they don't get what they want. And so they think that their mission is to tell us what we want, to educate us like a mother and say, no, you need to like these carrots and peas that taste like ass because they're good for you. Nah, this is my fucking escapism, man. At the end of the fucking day, I don't want to be reminded of all the politics and bullshit in the world that I really don't give a flying crap's ass about. I want to be left alone. I want to be left alone. I want to live my life. I want to be with my friends, who, by the way, are all sorts of fucking genders and shit. Who cares? Genders and races, it doesn't matter. I work with Mexicans. I work with fucking Vietnamese. I work with Australians. I work with all sorts of people. It doesn't matter. I care about who you are. And, you know, if you put all that shit ahead of anything else, you're worthless. You're worthless. It's all divide and conquer Marxism. And again, I'm not really a political person, but like at the same time, just don't fucking shove this shit in my escapism. Whether it's a movie or a game, I don't want to be reminded of fucking Biden and Trump and Congress and, I don't know, gay pride parades when I'm playing a Star Wars game or watching a Star Wars movie or playing a Spider-Man game or any other bullshit. I want it to just be that fake fictional world about superheroes and bad guys and spaceships. I don't think it's much to ask. Anyway, give this guy a follow. Appreciate the recent support, guys. And I'm gonna keep doing the best content I can while I'm in the middle of moving this freaking house and not having really much of a setup to do anything with. Stick there with me. I promise good shit's coming. Peace.